What's up, guys? Coming to you today with a full Sunday of Week 6 NFL football action here on October 12th. I'm going to give out picks on every single game today. We're going to look at plays against the spread and a few over-under spots. I'll give you my favorite underdog pick of the day and my massive lock, my pick that regardless of price, I think has the best chance of cashing today. We're also going to throw some player props into the mix, so we've got a great video for you today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the videos we're posting here every single day, and comment down below with anything you're looking at today across the sports world. I'm more than happy to get back to you. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and you should definitely check back a couple of times throughout the day to see if there are any changes with injuries and player availability being confirmed. In terms of a recap there for Saturday, guys, still have quite a few games going on. We did get off to an annoying start there with Old Dominion. They really did not even show up for that game at all. It was terrible. They got destroyed there by Marshall. We still got Texas A&M, Michigan, BYU. Those games are all still live. We have already cashed our dog of the day and our massive lock of the day, though. We took Maryland plus 6.5 as our dog of the day. They took the 34-31 loss, so we do get the win in a game they could certainly have won straight up if they hadn't gotten outscored 10-0 there in the fourth quarter after going into the final frame there with the lead. So another tough, loss there from Maryland, but we do get the win there, taking the points. We also had Wake Forest at -3. They were our massive lock of the day, and that was a pretty easy lock, guys. For sure our easiest win of the day, as Wake Forest laid the 94-14 smackdown on Oregon State in a game that was 25-0 at halftime and 32-0 headed into the fourth quarter. So an easy win there. Hopefully all you guys cashed in on Wake Forest in that one. We've got a full slate of NFL action to cover in this one, guys, so we're going to go ahead and dive in. First up, we're going to be looking at the Denver Broncos as they go on the road here to take on the New York Jets. Actually, both teams are on the road here, guys. They're playing another one here in London at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The Broncos come into this game 3-2 on the season, winners of 2 in a row. They blew out Cincinnati, and then last week, the 21-17 win there at Philadelphia. A huge win there for Denver. They were pretty pumped up about that one. Bo Nix, a very solid day. 242 passing yards, 1 touchdown, sacked twice, also had 22 yards on 3 carries. So a very solid day for him. Maybe most importantly, he did not turn the ball over. J.K. Dobbins, another solid day on the ground, 20 carries, 79 yards, and a touchdown. So all very solid stuff there for Denver. Courtland Sutton had a great day, caught 8 out of 10 targets for 99 yards. Just good news after good news there for Denver offensively, having a pretty good day there against a solid Eagles defense. Now, defensively, Denver, that's where they're supposed to be the best, and they looked really good, piling up 6 sacks there against Jalen Hurts. They did give up 2 passing touchdowns and 280 yards, but they kept Saquon in check, and yeah, really made life tough for most of the receivers except for Devonta Smith, who did have 114 yards and no touchdowns there, but caught 8 out of 10 targets. Saquon did get loose a little bit there in the passing game, but things have certainly changed there for the Eagles. So yeah, liked what we saw from Denver defensively last week, no doubt about that. Over the course of the season, after giving up 21 points last week, they're second in the NFL, giving up 16.8 points per game. Now, have they faced the toughest schedule? I would say no, but it has been the easiest schedule, either like games against the Colts and the Chargers and the Eagles. There's some pretty solid opponents mixed in there for sure. Now, in terms of their injury report coming into this week, it's actually looking pretty good there for Denver. They've had a knack for staying healthy. They are fully healthy there on offense, which is a borderline cheat code at this point in the season. The defense is also looking very healthy coming into this game. So all positives there in terms of the injury report. Now, the Jets, they come into this game 0-5 on the season, so not exactly killing it. They just got blown out 37-22 last week against Dallas in a game that wasn't even really that close. They lost the week before that against Miami, lost a very close one against Tampa Bay, got blown out by Buffalo. You kind of see how this season's been going for the Jets, guys. It has been pretty much abysmal. Now, last week against Dallas, were there some positives? I guess Fields did pass for 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 283 yards, but he was sacked 5 times, only had 26 yards on the ground. Breece Hall did have 113 yards on 14 carries. So that was a very solid running game kind of attack, but it's a little bit tough to be, grasping for these, positives. They turned the ball over once, but still could only manage 22 points against a Dallas Cowboys team that's been one of the worst defenses in the NFL this season. Defensively, the Jets are not good. They gave up 237 yards and 4 passing touchdowns to Dak Prescott. Could not stop Javonte Williams at all in the ground game, giving up a 66-yard rush and overall 135 yards and a touchdown on 16 carries. Also even let Dak run the ball 7 times for 28 yards. Did not have any answers out there really for Dallas at all. It was pretty embarrassing to give up 37 points in the way they gave it up, just not showing tons of resistance. So the Jets definitely not having a great time so far this season. They're 29th in the NFL in passing yards. They are 31st in the NFL in points allowed per game. Like, it's getting pretty freaking brutal out there for the Jets. Now, in terms of their injury report, they're not that banged up. Defensively, they're going to be missing at least Michael Carter II there in the secondary. Other than that, they should be pretty much fully healthy for this game. So we'll see how it goes. Playing here in London, the Jets are getting 7 points. We've got a total of 43.5 in this game. Denver's 2-2-1 against the spread. They're 4-1 to the under. The Jets are 2-3 against the spread. They're 4-1 to the over. No real line on the total in this game in London, but I will definitely take Denver here at -7. The Broncos have played two bad teams. They covered this number in each one of those games. They're coming off a massive one over the Eagles, so I'm a little bit worried about the letdown spot potential for this one, but the Jets might just be finished with this season. I'm more than happy to go with the public side here and take Denver, especially in one of these international games. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the Arizona Cardinals going on the road to take on the Indianapolis Colts. The Cardinals come into this game 2-3 on the season. They've been on quite the tough run, losing each of their last 3 games by very, very narrow margins. But if you watch what they did last week against the Titans, I've never seen a team do more things to make themselves lose a game ever before in my entire life. That was embarrassing, just a complete and utter comedy of errors there for the Cardinals down the stretch to lose by 1 point to a Titans team that's pretty clearly one of the worst teams in the National Football League. Kyler Murray, 23 of 31, 220 yards passing, sacked 3 times, no touchdown passes. He did run for a touchdown, and we did see DeMarcado snap off that 71-yard run, so cool there. But overall, a good day for them in the running attack against Tennessee, one of the worst defenses in the NFL. We did see Marvin Harrison Jr. catch 4 out of his 5 targets for 98 yards. Progress there for him for sure, but fumbling the ball away 3 times, including that one that was just thrown away at the end zone. Pretty crazy stuff. You're going to have a hard time winning if you turn the ball over 3 times and only force 2 turnovers of your own. They did a decent job against Cam Ward, I guess, with that 1 interception and 2 sacks, but also gave up 265 passing yards. Didn't really stop the run either there of the Titans. And this is the Titans we're talking about, guys. The Titans are terrible, and the Cardinals managed to find a way to mess the end of this game up so bad that they end up losing. Absolutely insane stuff. So we'll see if they got a bounce back in them. In terms of their injury report, they possibly could be missing Kyler Murray in this one, which would lead to Jacoby Brissett being under center. He's dealing with a foot issue. He's officially questionable for this game. Don't have a lot more clarity in that. He did practice in a limited way on Friday, so maybe that's a step in the right direction. We'll see if he's out there. Zay Jones is also questionable for this game. Other than that, the offense is pretty much healthy. Defensively, they're going to be missing at least 1 starter there on the defensive line. Could be missing Mack Wilson Sr. there at linebacker, and Max Melton there could be out at right cornerback. So yeah, a lot of question marks there for these Arizona Cardinals going up against a pretty tough Colts team, and they got to go on the road here. Now, the Colts, they're 4-1 in the season. Really have looked really, really good. They did lose to the Rams in a game they definitely could have won, but other than that, they're undefeated. Wins against Miami, Denver, Tennessee. They lost against the Rams, and the last week, a 40-6 blowout win there against the Las Vegas Raiders. That was a dominant performance there from the Colts. Loved what we saw from Daniel Jones, 20 of 29, 212 yards, 2 touchdowns, sacked 0 times. Jonathan Taylor, 66 yards, 3 touchdowns on 17 carries. An amazing day for him. Nobody really stuck out that much in the passing game. Everybody, though, doing a good job chipping in. So lots of good news there. They turned the ball over 0 times in that game, and the defense looked fantastic. Generated 2 interceptions and 4 sacks. They did give up a little bit there to Genti in the running game, but overall, a dominant performance. They only allowed 6 points, guys. Bonkers level stuff there from the Colts. And over the course of the season, you've got to love what you've seen from the Colts. They're 3rd in points allowed per game. They're 2nd in points scored per game, top 5 in passing yards. Like, this team is looking excellent. Now, in terms of their injury report, it's looking clean. Offensively, very, very healthy. Like I was saying, basically a cheat code. Now, on defense, Kenny Moore II going to be out for this game. They will be missing 1 member there of their secondary, but other than that, they are healthy and ready to go. So that is a big step in the right direction for this team at this point in the season. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Colts are 7-point favorites. We've got a total of 47.5 in this game. The Cardinals are 2-3 against the spread. They are 3-2 to the under. The Colts are 4-1 against the spread. They are 3-2 to the under themselves. Guys, I will definitely be taking the Colts here at -7. Kyler Murray might not even play in this game, and since 2013, teams that have lost 3 straight games by a field goal or less are 1-8 in their following games straight up, and 2-7 against the spread in those games. If we get news confirmed that Murray is out, this line is definitely going to move a bunch. We want to get in on this one early if we possibly can. The Colts offense is going to be able to do whatever it wants out there. The Arizona coach situation is way too weird now with him hitting guys and getting fined, and I think this team could possibly be giving up on the season after seeing all that. Hey guys, hop in here with a quick shout out to the sponsor of today and every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are doing daily MLB, UFC, NFL, college football, and NHL hockey picks. So definitely a great time of the year to get in on the action. We also have NBA season right around the corner. We've been having a great time across all the major sports, so definitely want to get in on that. At StumpTheSpread.com, you'll be able to see exclusive free picks that are only posted there, our free-to-use bet size calculator, and that's where you'll find our premium top confidence picks, which might not and usually will not always match what you see from me here in the videos, as I'm not the premium MLB, NFL, college football, you get it, handicapper over there at Stump the Spread. You definitely want to get over there and check out everything. We've got a team of experts covering all the major sports, putting tons and tons of work in every single day. Each one of those guys has more than a decade's worth of experience covering his given sport, and things have been looking pretty decent. Now, guys, this week in college football, got off to a good start there. South Florida, a big 3-unit winner. Tulane, a nice 2-unit winner. That was some early week action. Texas came through for us early today, a nice 1-unit win on that one. Now, pretty unfortunately there, Alabama as a 2-unit play ended up as a push instead of a win. Plenty of opportunities for them to cover that number, and they were really just playing prevent defense there at the end of the game, and that prevented us from getting the win and cover. But they do win, and it ends up being a push, so no harm, no foul. We still got San Jose State going as a 3-unit play, and they're looking really, really good here in the early portion of that game. So looking like a very solid week of NCAA football action. Hopefully, we can roll that into a very, very solid week here of NFL action. So definitely get on board if you're interested. Get over there to StumpTheSpread.com by clicking the link down in the description and get on that free email list, guys. It's a fantastic resource every single day. All you got to do is go over to StumpTheSpread.com, sign up for a free account. It's absolutely free. All they need is your name and your email address. That is it. You'll get one email straight to your inbox every single day. It'll have at least one free pick in it. Tons of information on niche sports like golf, NASCAR, well, I guess WNBA season is just now over, but you get the picture, guys. It's a great, great resource. Big write-ups on all the major sports as well. There'll be free NFL picks in there tomorrow, so definitely get in on that. And there are parlays included in those emails also. So definitely want to check that out. Also, guys, if you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from us here every single day, click that little join button right below the video to sign up for a YouTube channel membership. YouTube channel members get early access to all of our videos. They get their name on screen in every single video, but maybe more importantly, they get access to our members only giveaways. Guys, we give away a Stump the Spread hoodie here every single week. Our next giveaway will be on the 13th, so coming up here very, very quickly, we'll be giving away another Stump the Spread hoodie to one random YouTube channel member. We just put everybody's name, all the YouTube channel members' name, go on a big wheel. We spin that wheel live on the video so you can see who wins, and that's how we pick our hoodie winner every single week here at Stump the Spread. So definitely get in on that if you're interested, guys, but we're going to go ahead and dive back in. We've got the rest of a very, very busy Sunday of NFL games to cover, and next up, we're going to be looking at the Los Angeles Chargers as they go on the road here to take on the Miami Dolphins. The Chargers come into this game losers of 2 in a row after getting off to a fantastic start to their season. They've now lost at the Giants, and then last week a 27-10 loss against the Washington Commanders. So a little bit rough beating the Chiefs, the Raiders, and Denver to get off to a good start, but then things have started to fade a little bit. We'll see what they can do in this one, though. I mean, last week, Herbert did not have a good time. Only 166 passing yards, despite throwing the ball 29 times. He was picked off once. He was sacked 4 times. He did run for 60 yards, which when Herbert's having to run a bunch, it's not really a very good sign. Omari Hampton had a bit of a down day as well. Now he's injured. So, yeah, it's been a little bit of a tough way to go here for the Chargers. They'll be hoping for a bounce back, though. Obviously, Keenan Allen having a decent game. They've got some issues to address. They also fumbled the ball away once, like 2 turnovers, and you forced 1 turnover of your own. You're putting yourself in a bad position. Now, defensively, this has been a very good team, but they gave up 27 points last week, struggled a little bit against Jaden Daniels, but also struggled against the running game. So that's something they could definitely improve on a lot in this one. This is a big get-right spot here for the Chargers, and we'll see if they can take advantage. Now, in terms of the injury situation for the Chargers, definitely something to keep an eye on. Quentin Johnson is on the injury list here. He's questionable. We'll see if he's able to make his comeback in this one. That hamstring issue, though, makes me think there's a decent chance that he won't play in this game. I don't think that's the end of the world, though. I am worried about Joe Alt going to be out and Trey Pipkins III being out there on the offensive line. That could be a problem, but keep in mind what opponent they're facing in this one. Defensively, they are fairly healthy. I do think Scott Matlock has a good chance of playing in this game, and that would get them pretty much to maybe not like 100% full health, but pretty healthy on the defensive side of the ball. Now they're taking on a Miami team that is now 1-4 on the season after a maybe even slightly surprising 27-21 win against the Jets. Last week they lost 27-24 against the Carolina Panthers. Not a great look. Obviously, the Dolphins really not looking great. Head coach definitely has his job on the line in this one. Tua had a great day there against the Panthers, and that's kind of his whole MO, to play really well against the worst teams out there and then, be terrible against the good teams. A-Chain didn't get much going in the running game, but, Tua 3 touchdown passes, no interceptions, 3 sacks, and none of them led to him being turned into a vegetable. So all very, very positive news. They're looking okay despite the loss of Tyreek. Waddle getting the targets and making the most of it. We'll see what they can do in this one. Now, defensively giving up 27 points against the Panthers and losing is not a great look. They gave up 206 rushing yards there to Rico Dowdle. Not great. Not great. And now they're about to face a Chargers team that will be more than happy to run the ball if given the opportunity. So I am a little bit worried about the Dolphins here defensively. Now, in terms of their injury report, there's plenty of room for worry there. Aaron Brewer could be missing. If you're missing your starting center and you're somebody like Tua, you're going to be even more anxious to get the ball out. Defensively, they're going to be missing at least one starting middle linebacker, and Storm Duck could be out as well there at corner. So that would leave them a little bit more vulnerable to that Herbert passing game. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Dolphins are only getting 4 points at home. We've got a total of 43.5. The Chargers are 2-2-1 against the spread. They're 4-1 to the under. Miami is 2-3 against the spread. They are 4-1 to the over. Guys, we're going to be on the Chargers in this one at -4. Tua, much better playing at home versus playing on the road. The Chargers are banged up and have to make the long trip to Florida, but Herbert is 13-6 against the spread in his career playing in East Coast games. He's 12-6 against the spread in the first couple months of the season when playing on the East Coast. Herbert has not been great in one-score games. That is true. The Chargers in the last 3 seasons are 1-10 in one-score games, but Miami, with no pass rush and no good secondary, I think the Chargers are poised for a big bounce back in this game on both sides of the ball. Next up, guys, we're looking at the New England Patriots as they go on the road to take on the New Orleans Saints. The Patriots are 3-2 on the season, coming off a massive 23-20 win there over Buffalo. A crazy game. The way the Patriots celebrated, you would kind of think they had just won the Super Bowl, but maybe this kind of was their Super Bowl, because I was very, very impressed. A solid day again from Drake May, 273 passing yards. He was sacked 4 times. Didn't do that much in the running game, and the running game in general for New England wasn't working that well, but they did do a good job moving the ball. Stephon Diggs looking like a monster out there. They did fumble it away once, so 1 turnover, but they still managed to win the game. So very good stuff there from the Patriots. They gave up 20 points, held Josh Allen to 2 touchdowns and 1 interception, so not bad there. Limited but did not stop the running attack and generated a couple fumbles as well. If you win that turnover battle 3-1, you're going to win a lot of games. So we'll see what the Patriots can do in this one. Over the course of the season, they are 9th in points against. They are 7th in passing yards, 12th in points for. So things are heading in the right direction. In terms of their injury report, they're very healthy offensively. That's a big deal. Defensively, they're going to be missing at least 1 starter there. It's a big deal whether or not Christian Gonzalez plays in this game. That could be a big issue. He is questionable with a hamstring issue, so that does make me very frightened that he could potentially end up missing this game. So we'll see what the Patriots can do here going on the road against the New Orleans Saints, who just got their first win of the season, taking down the New York Giants. Pretty crazy stuff there. Wouldn't necessarily have expected the Saints to be coming up with hardly any wins this season, but if you look at some of their numbers, they would indicate maybe they're slightly better than we would have thought. Last week, Spencer Rattler, who continues to play pretty well, 21 of 31, 225 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, also sacked 0 times. That helps a lot. The running game isn't necessarily the focus of this team, but the passing game is working really well. Olave doing some positive stuff. Shaheed, a good day, caught 4 or 5 targets, 114 yards and a touchdown. You snapping off an 87-yard reception, you're having a pretty good day. And defensively, they generated, 5 turnovers there against the Giants? Bonkers level stuff. The Giants really just couldn't do anything right in terms of taking care of the ball. So the Saints take a massive win in that one and only give up 14 points, which has not been the norm for them this season. Despite that game, they're still 24th in the NFL in points allowed per game. So not exactly great there. None of their statistics look amazing for this season. So we'll see what they can do in this one. Kamara is questionable for this game. Missing him could be a pretty big deal, dealing with that ankle issue, and he's seems like there's a real chance that he could end up missing this game. He was limited on practice all the days of the week, basically, so we'll see. Sounds like a game time decision. Defensively, they're fairly healthy, except for they could be missing 1 member there of their secondary, but overall, not looking too banged up. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Saints are actually getting 3.5 points at home. We've got a total of 46 in this game. The Patriots, 3-2 against the spread, 3-2 to the under. The Saints, 2-3 against the spread, 3-2 to the over. This one is an interesting one, guys. It's a massive letdown spot for the Patriots coming off that Bills win. Drake May is getting an insane amount of love right now. Spencer Rattler played well last week, but the Giants turned the ball over 5 times in that game after looking capable of controlling things early on. Having Christian Gonzalez back for New England is a big deal, but will he even play in this one? Mike Vrabel historically does great against bad teams and against teams with first or second year head coaches, so we are going to be leaning towards the Patriots here at -3.5. But is this going in the pinned comment? Maybe it would seem like it should, but I don't trust it enough. I actually think there is a real chance the Saints could end up pulling some sort of crazy upset here against a Patriots team that I think got a little bit too high over their win last week. Rolling right along here, guys, we've got the Cleveland Browns going on the road to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Browns at 1-4 on the season are not having a great time, just traded away Joe Flacco, so we'll see how things go in this one. Last time out, they lost 21-17 against the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, maybe we should give him credit for keeping it close, but I wasn't that impressed. Dylan Gabriel did have a pretty good day. 19 of 33, 190 yards, 2 touchdowns. Was sacked a couple times. The running game looked really, really good, so that's a big step in the right direction for the Browns, but still no great wide receiver options popping up there. Defensively, they gave up 21 points and actually looked really good, but keep in mind they did that against a backup quarterback. They slowed down the running game, so yeah, the Browns defense, still excellent, and it was a London game, so not really a home game. So we'll see how things look here for Cleveland, having to travel home and now, come back from the UK and now play right away. Dylan Gabriel under center could be interesting. They are fairly healthy there on both sides of the ball. So we'll see how it goes. Kind of healthy there on both sides of the ball. Now, they're taking on the Steelers, an AFC North opponent. Pittsburgh somehow 3-1 on the season atop the AFC North. They're coming off a 24-21 win over Minnesota, and they're coming off of their bye week. In that win, the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers, a good day. 18 of 22, 200 yards, 1 touchdown, only sacked 2 times. Kenneth Gainwell, a massive day, 99 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground on 19 carries. We're loving what we're seeing from DK Metcalf. Kenneth Gainwell, very good passing options there up and down for Rodgers. Defensively giving up 21 points. They did have 2 interceptions there against Carson Wentz, but if Wentz is going to throw the ball 46 times, I think he's going to throw the ball to the other team, at least somewhat. Did not have an answer for Justin Jefferson or Jordan Addison. So that would be concerning if they weren't going up against the Browns, a team with basically no good wide receivers. So we'll see how this one goes. The Steelers' injury report is looking fairly clean. Calvin Austin III will be out for this game, but other than that, as a team, they are fully healthy. So that's a big step in the right direction. That's what you want when you're coming off a bye week. So looking at the numbers for this game, guys, the Steelers are 6-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 38.5. Cleveland's 2-3 against the spread. They're 3-2 to the under. The Steelers are 2-2 against the spread. They're 3-1 to the over. Guys, I think this is a fantastic spot to take the Steelers. Now, I wish we would have gotten in on this earlier in the week. The number's been flying, but the Steelers still look to be in great shape in this one coming off their bye week. The Browns are starting a rookie in his first road game, and they're coming back from the UK. Could be some travel lag going on there. The Steelers are starting to get healthy. Rodgers gets the ball out as fast as he possibly can every single time, so the Browns' pass rush might not matter. And guys, this might be the biggest one. Mike Tomlin, coming off a bye week, he's 5-0 against the spread his last 5 times. So definitely give me the Steelers in this one. Rolling right along here, guys, we've got the Dallas Cowboys going on the road to take on the Carolina Panthers. The Cowboys coming into this game 2-1 on the season, got a 37-22 win against the Jets last week. Not exactly amazing thing to do, but they do take care of business there. Maybe they're playing a little bit better over their last couple weeks. A tie against the Packers. How excited am I supposed to get about that? We'll see. But last week against the Jets, Dak did what he always does against bad teams. 4 touchdown passes, sacked 1 time. A pretty efficient day passing the ball. Javonte Williams, a massive day on the ground. 135 yards on 16 carries and a touchdown there. Just a very good day out there for a very good offense. Now, defensively, Dallas is terrible. They gave up only 22 points last week, but keep in mind that's against Justin Fields and the Jets. They gave up almost 300 passing yards and 3 passing touchdowns to Justin Fields. They did have 5 sacks, though. They also couldn't stop the running attack there of Breece Hall. They generated a turnover, so that's a positive, but really Dallas, not a very good defense. One of the worst defenses out there, currently 29th in the NFL, giving up 30.8 points per game, but they're 4th in the NFL, scoring 30.2 points per game. And going up against the Jets, maybe none of that's going to matter because going up against the Panthers, maybe none of that's going to matter. Now, offensively, they are dealing with some injuries. They're going to be missing 1 starting offensive lineman, and CeeDee Lamb is still sidelined, but they still got Javonte Williams at running back. They've still got George Pickens. They're looking okay to me. Defensively, they're a little bit banged up, but they're going against the Panthers, so it might not be the end of the world. They could be missing 1 starting linebacker there, but other than that, they're not too banged up. We would love to see Trayvon Diggs available for this game. It seems like it's a possibility that he'll play. That knee issue might not keep him out, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, they're going up against the Panthers. They come into this game 2-3 on the season. They beat the Dolphins their last time out, so good job, I guess. A 27-24 win over Miami is not exactly amazing. Bryce Young did have 2 touchdown passes, but was also picked off once. He was sacked 3 times. Rico Dowdle is why they won that game. 206 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown on 23 carries. We'll be able to do that against Dallas? Maybe. It seems like a big ask for him to repeat something like that. We also saw them turn the ball over a total of 2 times, so that could be a bit of a problem in this one as well. Defensively, they had no answer for Tua and Jalen Waddle. A big problem here when they have to go up against Dak and a much more solid wide receiver group. So I am worried about the Panthers' defense in this one quite a bit. Over the course of the season, the Panthers are 18th in the NFL, giving up 23.8 points per game. But when you look at their schedule, hasn't exactly been a murderer's row. And looking at the numbers for this one, the Panthers, they're getting 3 points at home. We've got a total of 48.5 in this game. Dallas is 3-2 against the spread, 3-2 to the over. Carolina's 3-2 against the spread, and 3-2 to the over themselves. I do think over 48.5 is alive and well in this game. I'm not going to slam it in the pinned comment or anything like that, but I do think there will be a lot of offense. In terms of a side, though, I definitely like Dallas a lot at -3. Dak is great versus bad teams. He's 40-13 straight up when playing versus a team that's under 500, and 33-18-2 against the spread in that same spot, winning by an average of almost 10 points per game. Dak in back-to-back road games is actually 12-5 against the spread in the first 3 months of the season. He's 9-1 against the spread in that spot. Bryce Young is better at home than on the road, but that's not going to scare me off of this one. I will definitely be taking Dallas here at -3. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Seattle Seahawks as they go on the road to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Seahawks are 3-2 on the season. They lost to Tampa Bay last week, 38-35, and a bit of a thriller. But when you look back, all of a sudden, their wins are against the Steelers, the Saints, and the Cardinals. Not exactly great opponents. Now, last week against Tampa Bay, Sam Darnold, a great game. 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, sacked 0 times, 341 passing yards. Kenneth Walker, 85 yards on 10 carries. The offense was cooking, guys. No doubt about that. Jackson Smith and Najigba looking like a monster. Caught 8 out of 9 targets, 132 yards, and a touchdown. That's all great news. The problem was their defense couldn't stop anyone. Baker Mayfield, almost 400 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, only sacked once, 0 interceptions. Also, the running game was working out, 2 rushing touchdowns there for Rashad White. We didn't see a single turnover there forced by Seattle's defense, so not a great day defensively for the Seahawks, and that's why they end up taking the loss. Over the course of the season, they're 11th in the NFL in points against, but when you look at their schedule, maybe that starts to make a lot more sense. Now, their injury report's looking very, very good there on offense. That's a borderline cheat code at this point in the season, but on defense, looking bad. They're likely to be missing at least 3 starters here defensively for this game. So that could be a problem here going up against a Jacksonville Jaguars team that has suddenly won 3 in a row. They're 4-1 on the season. Their wins are against Carolina, Houston, San Francisco, and Kansas City. And that win against Kansas City did feel a little bit fluky to me. I'm not going to lie. So we'll see what they can do this time around. In that win over Kansas City, we had the fall down touchdown score from Trevor Lawrence, who's also picked off once and only passed for 221 yards. He also ran the ball 10 times for 54 yards and 2 touchdowns. Did not see that coming. Travis Etienne Jr., 12 carries for 49 yards. All good. Brian Thomas Jr. caught 4 out of 6 targets for 80 yards. So a lot of things headed in the right direction. Lawrence did fumble it away, though, so 2 turnovers on him. That's pretty bad. Defensively, they slowed down but didn't stop the Chiefs, and it wasn't for that one big defensive pick 6 there, this game would have went a completely different direction, it feels like. That was the only turnover they forced in the game, and they gave up 28 points. So not exactly super stoked about this Jaguars defense like everybody else is. I don't think they've been that amazing against anyone even semi-decent. They gave up 31 points and lost to the Bengals in week 1. Week 2. Let's not forget about that. Now, looking at the Jaguars injury report, they are almost fully healthy there defensively. Could be missing their starting center, though. On offense, that's bad. Defensively, though, they are fully healthy. So that looks good. Looking at the numbers here, it's been all over the place. Right now, it's showing that the Jaguars are getting 1 point. We got a total of 47.5 in this game. Seattle, they're 3-2 against the spread. They're 3-2 to the over. The Jaguars are 4-1 against the spread and 3-2 to the over themselves. Guys, the Jaguars are way healthier than Seattle. Maybe they're a little bit underrated. I will be taking Jacksonville playing at home in this one. I think the weather situation could favor them. I do think they're got lucky there to beat the Chiefs, but I do think the Jaguars are in better shape. The secondary is technically banged up at this point, but I do think they're in better shape here than the Seahawks, so I'll be slightly leaning towards the Jaguars. Next on the docket, guys, we're going to be looking at the Los Angeles Rams going on the road to taking the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Rams at 3-2 on the season have to be pretty tilted. They lost last week against San Francisco in that 26-23 letdown in overtime. Pretty brutal. Stafford had a good game, 389 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, only sacked one time. Kyron Williams came up with 65 yards on 14 carries, so nothing wrong there. Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, both did a great job there catching the ball, although Devontae Adams only caught 5 out of 11 targets, so that doesn't look quite as good. They did fumble the ball away twice. That was killer. Kyron Williams seems like maybe turned into a fumble guy. Stafford also fumbling. Gotta have a little bit better ball security. That's all I can really say about that. Now, defensively, it wasn't great. It made Mac Jones look like a monster, passing for almost 350 yards and 2 passing touchdowns. McCaffrey is a monster. There's really no way around that. Accounted for like 130 or 140 something yards of total offense, both through the air and on the ground. And we saw just a massive day there from Kendrick Burns. So yeah, we'll see if the Rams can bounce back a little bit. They're not looking that good defensively this season. It's starting to be a problem. They're 13th in the NFL in points against, but yeah, giving up that much to the 49ers doesn't look great. And their injury report, I mean, they're fairly healthy offensively, so that's nice. Defensively, they're starting to be a little bit banged up. Probably going to be missing Spates there at linebacker, so they won't be at full strength here as they go on the road to take on the Ravens, who are clearly not at full strength, guys. They're 1-4 on the year. A 44-10 beatdown at the hands of Houston last week was not a good look. Seems like the Cooper Rush experience might not be amazing. He got picked off 3 times last week. Had 179 passing yards, only sacked once. Derrick Henry had 15 carries for 33 yards and a touchdown. They're going to pack the box against him and make him try and carry dudes into the end zone. And maybe he'll be able to do it, but that is a pretty big ask for anyone. And defensively, the Ravens continue to look absolutely terrible. Giving up 44 points to the offensively challenged Houston Texans is just straight up embarrassing. They generated 0 turnovers, couldn't stop the run, couldn't stop the pass, couldn't do anything good. So we'll see if the Ravens can bounce back here a little bit. We are going to have Cooper Rush under center once again. Zay Flowers is questionable for this game, and we've got at least 2 starters out defensively for what's already a terrible defense. So looking at the numbers for this one, guys, the Ravens are getting 7 points at home. We've got a total of 44.5 in this game. The Rams are 3-2 against the spread, 3-2 to the over. Baltimore's 1-4 against the spread and 5-0 to the over. I mean, I'm not taking the Ravens here, guys. Give me the Rams here at -7. I'll slam it on them. I'm more than happy to fade Cooper Rush in an absolutely terrible Baltimore defense that's going to be even worse. Now they're dealing with a bunch of injuries. The Rams lost a real head scratcher against the 49ers. They're going to be looking for a bounce back spot, and I think they've found one here. I'm expecting big games from basically all their big skill players and a little bit better ball security. I think they could win this game by 21. Rolling right along here, we're looking at the Tennessee Titans heading to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. Now, the Titans are 1-4 on the year. They just got their first win of the season in that 22-21 win last week over the Arizona Cardinals. But, guys, you know when you're playing 8-ball pool and you scratch on the 8-ball so the other guy wins? He didn't really win, you lost. And this was a case of the Cardinals losing, not so much of the Titans winning. They looked terrible. Cam Ward, clearly their best player. He's doing some positive stuff and should be giving them faith for the future. But other than that, it's not looking great. Tony Pollard, 14 carries, 67 yards, a touchdown. All right, cool. Calvin Ridley, 131 receiving yards, but only caught half of his targets. We saw Pollard fumble the ball away once. Nothing really mattered in the end. The Cardinals just determined to lose that game. The defense for the Titans is not great. But they just got handed a lot of things there at the end of that game. So we'll see what they can do in this one going up against another pretty mediocre opponent. Over the course of the season, the Titans are 26th in the NFL in points against. They're 31st in the NFL, averaging only 14.6 points per game. That's embarrassing. They're taking on a Raiders team that's 1-4 on the season as well. They beat the Patriots in week 1, but since then, a blowout loss to the Chargers, a blowout loss to Washington, a 1-point loss against the Bears, and then last week a 40-6 blowout loss there against the Colts. Turns out Geno Smith cannot keep from throwing the ball to the other team. 2 interceptions last week and sacked 4 times. Genty needs to be the real just go-to part of this offense. They're just handing him the ball 30 times per game. I know they probably don't want to ruin him here in a wasted season, but that's what it's looking like. This offense cannot do much right, and neither can the defense, giving up 40 points last week against the Colts. Although I will say Geno Smith keeps putting them in terrible spot after terrible spot. So we'll see what they can do in this one. Looking at their injury report, we do see Brock Bowers is considered out for this game. He won't be playing, so more bad news for Brock Bowers fantasy owners. Other than that, this team is healthy here playing at home. So looking at the numbers, the Raiders are 4-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 41.5. Tennessee's 2-3 against the spread, 3-2 to the over. The Raiders are 1-4 against the spread, 3-2 to the under. Not a big fan of the total in this one, but I'll definitely take the Raiders here at -4. Is it going to make the pinned comment? Probably not. This makes sense if they can just run the ball every down with Genty and keep the ball out of Geno Smith's hands. Titans can't stop the run at all. A huge letdown spot here for the Titans coming off their miracle win last week. Brock Bowers being great, it out isn't great for us here, so this will not be in the pinned comment. Next on the docket, guys, we've got a very interesting game. We've got the Cincinnati Bengals going on the road to take on the Green Bay Packers. Now, the Bengals won their first 2 games of the season kind of felt miraculous, but wins over Cleveland, a win over Jacksonville. Last week, a 48-10 loss against Minnesota, a 28-3 loss against Denver after that, and a 37-24 loss against Detroit last week. Now, that all led the Bengals to make the decision that the Jake Browning experience was no longer for them. They traded for Joe Flacco, and he is going to be starting this game. So we'll see what difference that will make. Will he do a better job of getting the ball to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins? I would think the chance of that is pretty high. Will he get it downfield as much? Maybe not. But will he get it to them in good situations to run after the catch? I think we can count on a veteran Joe Flacco to do that. Now, defensively, the Bengals are not good. Gave up a lot to the pass last week against Detroit. It did kind of slow down the rushing attack of Montgomery and Gibbs, so I guess that's a positive, and they did force a turnover and had 4 sacks, so maybe that's a step in the right direction for a defense that's, 30th in the NFL in points allowed per game. So we'll see if all that creates some sort of ripple effect. We do see Jamar Chase is questionable for this game. Will Flacco showing up make him come back? We'll see. He's questionable with an illness. I do expect him to be able to go here at game time. He was in walkthrough, so I think that is definitely a big point in the right direction. Fairchild is questionable there on the offensive line, and the offensive line is not good, so that is concerning for Flacco. Defensively, they're healthy, but they haven't been very good defensively. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Packers, who are 2-1-1 on the season. They're coming off their bye week. We'll see how things go. They're coming off that tie against Dallas. Their first 2 weeks looked great, beating Detroit and Washington, then losing against Cleveland and tying with Dallas. Pretty embarrassing stuff. In that tie against Dallas, obviously the offensive numbers look great. Jordan Love 3 touchdown passes. The running game was looking great. The wide receiver group was having a decent day. Jordan Love fumbling it away once, though. Not great. He was only sacked 1 time, though. Not a terrible game offensively, obviously, but defensively, it was just atrocious against a pretty good, offense there from the Cowboys. But the defense has to be better. They're 11th in the National Football League right now in points against, but it doesn't really feel like they're an 11th best team defensively. And yeah, their offense is good. The rushing yards maybe could use a little bit of improvement. Now, looking at their injury report, coming off their bye week, they're still pretty banged up. Could be missing 3 starting offensive linemen, which might not be that big of a deal against the Bengals. We'll see. Devontae Watt is confirmed out there at defensive tackle, so they might not be able to rush the passer that well, even against a bad Bengals offensive line. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Packers are 14.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 44.5 in this game. The Bengals are 1-4 against the spread, 3-2 to the over. The Packers are 2-2 against the spread, 3-1 to the under. This does not feel good. Don't get me wrong. This does not feel good, and I'm sure you can tell what I'm about to say right now, but we're going to be taking the Bengals here, getting 14.5 points, and I think this has a very legitimate chance to be our dog of the day. There aren't a ton of underdogs that I love, so let's not go too nuts on this play. But I do think with Flacco there under center, I think that's going to not save the Bengals, not make them win this game, but I think they could keep it to single digits or to, 10 points, 13 points, even maybe to 14 points. We win via the hook because the Packers haven't been that impressive. I do think they'll be able to run the ball in this one. I think Matt LaFleur will have his squad ready to go coming off their bye week, but I do not think that's going to result in a blowout loss here. Joe Flacco knows how to play against the Packers. Joe Flacco already beat the Packers once this season. So we'll see how this one goes, but I am definitely going to be on the Bengals here, getting 14.5 points. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we're looking at the San Francisco 49ers heading to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers. The 49ers 4-1 on the season, a big 26-23 win last week against the Rams. The Mac Jones experience continues to look very, very playable there for the 49ers. He had 342 passing yards and 2 passing touchdowns last week, was only sacked once. Asking him to throw the ball 49 times. Seems like a bit much, but McCaffrey only had 57 yards on his 22 carries. It was much, much more productive there through the air. So we'll see. I mean, a very good day offensively there for the 49ers. No way around that. They played great against a Rams defense that's not atrocious. Now, defensively, they struggled. Gave up a lot to the run, gave up a lot to the pass. I mean, you're allowing 23 points only in that game. Kind of felt like a bit of a miracle. The 49ers are still 6th in the NFL in points against, so not bad. But the problem for this team right now is their injury situation. Brock Purdy out. Obviously, Mac Jones is technically questionable. We do expect him to start and play this game, but he's dealing with quite a few injuries. It's starting to pile up, a lot of lower body injuries, and that makes me worried about his mobility. Juwan Jennings, questionable, leaning maybe towards out in this game. Pershaw confirmed out for this one, and on defense, they could be missing 2 starters as well. So definitely a banged up 49ers team, about to take on a banged up Buccaneers team that's coming off a massive 38-35 win last week at Seattle. That was pretty crazy. Now, when you look at the Buccaneers wins, they haven't been beating a bunch of juggernauts necessarily, but they could be 5-0. They were very close to being 5-0 this season. Baker is just a monster. 379 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, only threw 4 incomplete passes out of 33. crazy work. Rashad White looked usable there in the running game, so that was good. Emeka Abuga looking amazing there in the passing game, like just awesome. Cade Otton coming up big as well, catching 4 out of 5 targets for 81 yards. So a lot of things clicking right now here for these Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You gotta love it. Now, in terms of their injury report, it's not looking so hot. We do see Bucky Irving, Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin Jr. all confirmed out for this game. So gonna have to be the Emeka Abuga and Cade Otton show once again. They looked capable, and Rashad White looked capable as well, so maybe they can just step in and fill that void. We do see Zyron McCollum is going to be out there at cornerback, so they're not going to be fully healthy on defense, but a lot closer to being healthy defensively than offensively. So looking at the numbers for this game, guys, the Buccaneers are 3-point favorites at home, 3-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 47. The 49ers, 3-2 against the spread, 3-2 to the over. Tampa Bay, 3-2 against the spread, also 3-2 to the over. I am willing to look at over 47. That's a lot of points, though, for an NFL game, so we'll see. I'm not in love with that one, but I will take the Bucs here at -3. Mac Jones is going to be starting, but is very banged up. Purcell confirmed out for this game. Jennings is now also confirmed out for this game. The 49ers secondary is very banged up. The Bucs won't have Irving, Evans, or Godwin Jr., but Baker is ready to go, so I do think the Buccaneers are definitely the side I want in this one. Last but not least here, guys, we have the marquee game of the day. We're looking at the Detroit Lions as they go on the road to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Lions are 4-1 this season. They've won their last 4 in a row after a stinker there in week 1 against Green Bay, but beating Chicago, Baltimore, Cleveland, and Cincinnati, this is about to be their toughest test of the season, I think, pretty much for sure. I guess that win over Baltimore was pretty solid against, what was then the full Baltimore team, but we'll see what they can do in this one. Last week in Cincinnati, I'm not sure what we can really take from that performance, but Goff, 258 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He was sacked 4 times. Montgomery did pass for a touchdown, also ran for a touchdown, and had 165 yards, and Gibbs had 54 of his own. We did see Amon-Ra St. Brown catch 8 out of 9 targets for 100 yards. Sam Laporta, 5 out of 6 targets for 92 yards and a touchdown. So a lot of positives for them there offensively, but keep in mind that happened against the Bengals. Defensively, they came with 3 interceptions and 2 sacks. They slowed down the pass, didn't stop the run necessarily, but slowed it down a bit. And yeah, a good day defensively, but that was against the Bengals and Jake Browning. So we'll see what they can do this week. Definitely a much, much different situation. Over the course of the year, they're 16th in the NFL in points against, their first in points for, but like I said, guys, you got to look at that strength of schedule. Not really looking so strong. And if you look at their injury report, we do see Raymond questionable there at wide receiver. We see Taylor Decker confirmed out there on the offensive line. And defensively, it's not good news. Arnold out there at cornerback. Brian Branch questionable at safety. Free safety Kirby Joseph also questionable. There's a very, very real chance they could be missing 3 starters in the secondary here as they go up against the Kansas City Chiefs. That does not sound like a good time to me. Now, the Chiefs, they come to this game 2-3 on the season, fresh off of a really devastating, dumb, shocking loss last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Not a good look. In that game, Mahomes threw a pick 6. Not something you see every day. Trevor Lawrence fell down and was somehow still able to run for a touchdown there to seal the win for Jacksonville. Crazy, crazy stuff. Mahomes passed for 318 yards, 1 touchdown, and that 1 interception, all without being sacked. He also ran the ball 6 times for 60 yards and a touchdown. Kareem Hunt was very useful there in the running game as well. Pacheco didn't have a bad day either. Kelsey and Tyquan Thornton led the way there in receiving. Xavier Worthy only caught 6 out of his 9 targets. Definitely more opportunities are headed his way. And looking at the defense, that was really a head scratcher, guys. Gave up 31 points despite slowing down the run and basically stopping the pass. So yeah, not left in a lot of good situations. They recovered a fumble, so generated 2 turnovers. The Chiefs defense this year has not been bad. 21st in the NFL in points again. They've given up 21 points per game, which is 13th in the NFL. Over the course of this season, they've already played the Chargers, Eagles, Giants, Ravens, and Jaguars. So they've played a relatively tough schedule. Now, looking at their injury report, it's looking great. Everybody healthy there defensively. We do see Rashee Rice poised to be making a comeback here very, very soon. And defensively, they're also fully healthy. So that's a big, big deal at this point in the season. Now, looking at the numbers for this game, the Chiefs are 2.5 point favorites at home. We've got a total of 52.5. Detroit's 4-1 against the spread, 3-2 to the over. The Chiefs, 2-3 against the spread, 3-2 to the over. Guys, I'm taking the Chiefs here at -2.5. This is a huge pros versus Joe spot with the pros loving the Chiefs and the books taking a stand here on Kansas City. Lots and lots of tickets coming in on the Detroit Lions. I am not buying it here. Lots of key injury concerns here for Detroit. The Chiefs are very good. Detroit hasn't played that many good teams, and they're playing on grass in this game, which is a problem for them historically, especially their quarterback. Kansas City got unlucky and made some shocking mistakes last week against Jacksonville. Mahomes, as a favorite of 3 points or less, is 29-12-1 against the spread in his career. We just have to close our eyes and bet the Chiefs in this one. When Mahomes' opponent is coming off a win of 10 or more, Mahomes is 15-4 against the spread in his career. Mahomes is 19-6 straight up in primetime games in his career. I am definitely taking the Chiefs to get the win and cover in this one. Now, also, guys, a couple props I like for this game do involve Mahomes. I'll take Mahomes to score a touchdown here on the ground at plus 260. He has rushing touchdowns in 3 of their 5 games this season. In huge primetime spots like this, he's going to do whatever it takes, and I won't be shocked to see him punch one in himself in this game. I will also take Mahomes here over 4.5 rushing attempts at minus 135. He's been over this number in 4 out of the 5 games this season. I don't think that's going to change at all here in primetime. He's going to be more than willing to take off when they need a couple yards. Guys, that's all the games we have here for today on a very loaded Sunday of NFL action. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. I really appreciate all the new subscribers, everybody that hits that like button every single week. It's a big boost for these videos and a big boost for the channel. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I'm more than happy to get back to you. I appreciate everybody that's watching these videos. Make sure you're clicking the link down in the description. Get over to stumpthespread.com and check out our plethora of premium picks there over on the NFL side. Tons and tons of player props in there, picks on against the spread plays, parlays in those premium picks as well. So definitely get in on that, guys, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow. We've got 2 games on the Monday night slate, so there's lots more sports betting action.